Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today I'm bringing you, though late today, My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia episode 2. To give you an idea from a manga to episode translation, this would be the second half of chapter 1 because the first chapter was about 50 pages or thereabouts, so it makes sense the way they've kind of transformed that into an episode. It kind of pretty much makes up episode 2. So thinking about before getting into the review, thinking about pacing and how many episodes we've got, we have 13. Based on the intro that, to be fair, looks beautiful, I'm guessing they're going to at least do up until Ultimate Space and Jam's arc, which is probably about the third or fourth arc. Without revealing anything, it's actually a good arc, or it could end up being up to the arc before, where there's the battlefields test, I guess. So ultimately, there's quite a few arcs to come. We've got quite a bit of a distance, a bit of content, I guess, to look forward to. But I'm interested to see how they're going to pace the remainder of the actual chapters into episodes. But we'll have to wait and see. But for now, let's get into the review of episode 2. So, the episode in general. For the most part, it is, like I said, a continuation of the first episode. And it really, the first 2 episodes for me are the introduction. And what sets Izuku on his journey to becoming a hero, and it's something he says at the end of the episode. So one of the running themes throughout both of the last 2 episodes, it keeps going back to his sad childhood, where he basically gets told he can't be a hero, and his mum starts crying when he's a child, and she keeps saying, "Look, I'm sorry I couldn't give you a quirk. I'm sorry that you can't be a hero." And throughout the episode, he keeps reminding himself that, "Look, mother, that's not what I wanted to hear. It's not what I was expecting." And in reality, the whole time he was expecting that reassurance from his mother, that said, "You can be a hero," which is why he asks the question right at the end of last episode. In fact, the beginning of this. What throws his world for a loop is All Might. So All Might is basically run out of time. He's like, shit, what do I do? And then smoke starts coming out of him. So ultimately, he goes from this big buff dude to a skinny, scrawny looking dude who looks like he's diseased. And he's like, "What? You must be fake. That can't be real. What's going on?" And he goes, "No, I'm the real guy." But you know how in beaches, when people puff up the chest and they walk around and they pose, that's pretty much what I do. And he's like, "No, that can't be true. What's going on?" But reality hits then at that point. So basically he gets told that, look, heroes, professional heroes, put their life on the line every single day, go into the line of fire, go into danger, and it's not something you can just become by being a person without a quirk. Ultimately, what we find out is that the slime villain who we caught, All Might had caught in the earlier chapter, he had dropped out of his pocket in the hole, getting scared of his time limit running out and Izuku holding on. Unfortunately for him, the time runs out. He drops the bottle. Coincidentally, it just happens to be where Bakugao is walking through, and they're talking about picking on Izuku, and then they inadvertently set him free, which sets up a chain of events that leads into the end of the chapter. So there is a running theme throughout both episodes about his journey, about wanting to be a hero, getting that confirmation saying, yes, you can be a hero. And eventually by the end of the episodes, he hears this, and that sets him on his journey. But what leads up to him thinking that ultimately is his hero heart, what All Might basically says to him is, look, at the end of the day, when you look at all the pro heroes and you look back at their lives, when they talk about being young, the one thing that they all have in common is being in a situation where the body reacted, that fight or flight situation, and they're just going to fight basically to save those who are in need. And that's what happens in this episode. So what happens is a slime guy, the villain, takes over Bakugao's body, realizing he has a powerful quirk. He tries to take over his body, and then the heroes come to try to help. They soon realize that because of the way this villain's quirk is, a slime, it's very difficult for them to deal with this type of quirk, and they're kind of struggling. All Might turns up in his normal form, and he realizes he can't do anything, and he feels pathetic and powerless. And even though he wants to help, he can't. Much like all the other heroes are in a situation where they want to help, but they're at quirk disadvantage, and their quirks aren't compatible to deal with the villain. Izuku realizing it was Bakugou and needed help, he jumped into the fray. Using what knowledge he did have, he tried to set Bakugou free. And what he ultimately did say in this chapter was, or this episode is, I don't know why I did that, but I looked at you and it looked like you was giving me help. At the end of the episode, Bakugou was giving him shit, saying, I didn't need your help, you didn't help me. And that's just basically his pride talking, and it was his way of saying thank you without saying thank you, which was kind of a funny scene. All the funny scenes that happen in this is the transformation. So the amount of time the transformation from All Might to No Might happens in this episode is always a comedic element to the scene. But the fact that Izuku went in there, he, without a power, without a quirk, jumped in to help someone, shows although he might not have the power of a hero, he has the heart of a hero, and that's nobody can take that away from him. He's always wanted to be a hero. He's always wanted to be like All Might, the guy who fights with a fearless smile is the best way he describes him. And then when All Might does see this, he's inspired and he needs to act, and then he transforms and he gives him a beautiful Detroit smash. But you get to see how powerful All Might really is, because he hits the villain so hard. He hits the punch so hard, he creates like a mini tornado, which creates an updraft, which creates clouds, which effectively changes the weather and causes rain. That's how much OP power this character has. But we also find out that 5 years ago, All Might was in a battle and he was severely damaged to the point now where he can only be a hero for 3 hours. He overcame that to help Bakugou out, but this sets up the chain of actions and the change of commands throughout the story with that limit, without revealing too much, as in from an anime only viewer, is going to be a big thing. So look out for that in the near future without revealing too much. I enjoyed this chapter because it was really a tug on your heartstrings moment when we kept going back to that flashback and the mother was saying to him, look, I'm really sorry, I couldn't give you a quirk. And he no, it was inside, he was thinking, no mama, what I wanted to say to you was, look, just please reassure me and please tell me that I can be a hero. And then by the end of the chapter, he is it. So ultimately, we have the funniness with the All Might transforming back to normal. We have the situation with Bakugou that gets resolved. We get to see the power of All Might, and we get to hear what Izuku Midoriya always wanted to hear, that he can be a hero. And we find out an interesting thing about his ability. Now, hopefully very soon we will find out who this person was who damaged him so much. But it was so interesting to the point where All Might wanted to be kept out of the media. So basically nobody knows what happened in that fight other than that guy and All Might, whoever the person was that he fought. But interesting setup to the setup for the next episode. Hopefully we'll get to see his journey now. So he's going to start, he wants to go to the school, he wants to become a hero. Ultimately this is his journey from being a nobody to learning to be a hero, to then being a fully fledged hero, and that is My Hero Academia. The academia part is his journey as a student to become a master, I guess. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next chapter. Ultimately, I really enjoyed the chapter. There's a few funny moments, there was action. It was a very well balanced chapter or episode for me. A brilliant way to translate that into an episode, into an anime, and I can't wait to see more. Just a shame we only get 13 episodes. I really like to have at least 24 episodes, but beggars can't be choosers. I'm just glad we're getting it. But that's all for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed the chapter. If you really like me, who can't wait for next week, check those chapters out. You've basically got to the end of chapter 1 and you can see what happens next. That's all for me today, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the episode, enjoyed the review. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought and what you think is going to happen next for those anime only viewers. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. I'm on 40 subscribers. I'd like to get to 50 in the goal to get 1,000. Until then, see you next time.